The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stewart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rissacher.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea.
Heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price. Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning. If you have been frustrated before and have failed at weight loss, then my program, Dr. Tred's Ultimate Laser Weight Loss System, could be the answer for you. You can go online at drtred.com or drtredslimbodylaserspa.com, and you can see my own before and after pictures. I had a 40-inch waist and weighed 265 pounds and had full-blown onset of type 2 diabetes. I was lethargic. I was miserable. I didn't realize how much the weight had creeped on over time in my own life. If you had asked me 3 weeks before this onset of having this serious problem with the diabetes, and you asked me if I was overweight, I would have thought I was holding it well. That would have been my comment. I'm good. I don't have any symptoms from it. I can still do what I want. I can still go fishing and hunting, and it isn't. And then all of a sudden, boom, I get hit with a sharp pain in my foot and frequent urination, and I had type 2 diabetes. And yes, it creeped up very slowly, and I knew I needed to do something. So as a chiropractor and a doctor of natural, healthcare, I look for natural solutions and alternatives. Since I don't have drugs I can feed you, I'm not licensed to prescribe drugs. I don't have those tools in my tool chest. I have to find natural, holistic solutions, which are congruent with what chiropractors are trained in school and what the scope of my practice, my license is. So I'm going to look for a safe, natural, holistic approach to a health problem. That's what chiropractors do for the most part. And I had already had this laser, this FDA cleared skinny mini surface fat, chin tightening, muffin top, reducing belly fat, shrinking procedure called the Lapex BCS body contouring system, but it was not for weight loss. It had it's not for weight loss. And I was okay with that when I first got it. And I started, helping more people to get rid of to get rid of their belly fat and to tighten their chins and to tighten loose floppy thighs. And God, it worked great for that. I mean, it really does. So, however, the real gorilla, the real 500-pound gorilla in the room is obesity. Obesity is it's a killer. It's destroying our nation. It's affecting 30 to 40% of adults in the USA are considered obese. and that means an over 30% body fat. That is, I want you to know something. If you're carrying 30% body fat and you're carrying it for more than a couple of years, your systems are going to fail. That means your circulatory system, your skeletal system, the joints, your ability to sleep, your ability to have energy to repair tissue, everything is hampered when you're carrying around too much weight. Over time, it will bring you down. It will be the end. It can be the what's going to kill you. And I knew that. And I see that. And I've tried to help people with weight loss in the past. I hired a doctor in my office, God, before I got this laser, and it was an HCG. I'm not licensed to prescribe HCG. Only medical doctors can do that. But I had read about the HCG phenomena here in the USA, and everybody seems to be helping people to lose weight. And it seems like a way of getting quicker results with less discipline, less effort, which is what a lot of people look for when it comes to losing weight. So I found a very friendly medical doctor, and we had him come into my office every other week, actually once a week. And he saw the new clients, and he recommended the HCG injections, and then they filled the prescription at the pharmacy. And I tried to manage their overall weight loss with the doctor's help. And it was like everybody that lost inches or weight using the HCG, invariably within a month or so, they seem to gain it back, because it's not something that's really sustainable. It's not something that you can do again and again. It's truly a quick result. It's not even a fix. It's just a quick result. And then they say, oh, well, but you went back to eating again. No, I didn't. No, they didn't. You can't live on 800 calories a day, 500 calories like the HCG diet recommends or requires. And then once you lose the inches and then you go back to introducing food back into your life, it's like you've been living in the desert and somebody brings you water and you're like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty. Well, I'm not that thirsty, but I'm going to indulge in the extra water. And that's what happens. And they all got fat. That's what happened to me. I did the HCG while I had the laser. I lost 27 pounds in 28 days on HCG. I did the injections, and this was probably 11 years ago. And I couldn't believe, I managed an 500 to 800 calories a day diet, which is what HCG requires. By the way, this is still out there. This process, this HCG, this human chorionic gonadotrophin female hormone, is what they inject to help people to burn stored fat. It's still out there. And after I lost those inches, I looked better and I felt better. And this is, God be my witness, in 5 weeks following the last injection, I gained back 31 pounds. It came on, and I didn't even realize it was coming back on. And I knew there had to be another solution. So, my name is Dr. Tread Rissacher, and if you just tuned in, you're listening to the Slim Body Laser Spa Health and Wellness Show. And I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I have over 32 years in practice, and I'm the owner and the doctor and a client at my Slim Body Laser Spa. We are the South Florida's number one laser body sculpting center. We're using a low-level, non-invasive class 3 device. It's a laser. It's not an LED machine. It's not a light machine like laser like lipos and lipolite and ultra trim and ultra slim. The tendency is in this business model for non-licensed people to try to get in on these services, and the only way a non-licensed person can do the body sculpting with light is to use a non-laser. They use these LED machines. And an LED is also used with lasers, so it can confuse people. So you think you're getting a laser treatment, and it's really just an LED light. And the research and the studies do not prove any real substantial results from LED light devices that just produce non-coherent light, diffuse light, such as a LED light bulb. If you think a light, LED can help you, take your LED lights you have at home, which there's so many of them now, put it up against your skin, and of course it's going to burn you. Well, actually, it's not going to burn you because there's no heat from an LED light. However, it's not going to get you to lose any weight either, or shrink the tissue. It needs to be a laser, people. And at the Slim Body Laser Spa, I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and it's within my license to use lasers. So we have a class 3 FDA cleared device called the Lapex Lipo Laser. And it is the same machine that I purchased 11 years ago. And today, 10 years later, and over 5,500 clients have been through the Slim Body Laser Spa, we're still using the same technology. And in the meantime, in that 11 years of using this Lapex BCS, that's Cool Sculpting came around about 7 years ago. The Zeltig machine was FDA approved and cleared for freezing fat now. And that device, they built a lot of reputation. Then it was bought by a new company, which dumped about $100 million into marketing, which is why when I mention Cool Sculpting, you know what that means, because it has such a huge marketing campaign. But I can tell you, the procedure for most of you out there is not indicated. I just did a program on, how to lose money at Cool Sculpting was the name of the program. Why do you lose money with Cool Sculpting? And you lose money because a lot of you that they accept aren't good candidates for it. The person who can benefit from Cool Sculpting is a very limited person. They're somebody who has a body fat of less than 24%, which means you're not obese and you're not even really overweight. You have to have, the Cool Sculpting is they say it's one procedure, but really most Cool Sculpting require 2 to 4 sessions in the same area, spaced out 2 to 3 months apart. So what seems so easy, bye bulge, is really, well, no, say hello to Cool Sculpting for the next, 8 months. And that's just a fact. The other part is when somebody has a lot of areas to treat, it doubles and triples the price. But that's not very clear to people when they first go in. So this is how you lose money in Cool Sculpting. It isn't that the process is horrible, because it does have some results. But when it comes to cost, how much it costs you, the price and the benefits from it, and also the risk of side effects, the risks of being burned by the cold machine or having lumps of hardened tissue that don't go away, that's part of the package when it comes to this fat freezing procedure. It's called cryolipolysis. And of the main brand, Cool Sculpting is the #1 brand of cryolipolysis. There's a lot of other machines out there which are trying to get it out of that market. So I wrote a paper. If you're interested in understanding it, there's the 9 questions you should ask your Cool Sculpting provider before you decide to do the process. And I think that's important. You can go to my website or just go on and email me. I'll send it to you. No problem. So I knew there had to be something different. Now, my laser at the Slim Body Laser Spa, my program is 3 times a week for 3 weeks. And you're actually on the laser for 30 minutes, relaxing in a private room. There's no heat, there's no pain, and there is no possibility of any tissue damage at all. And what the laser does after 10 minutes of applying it, the laser device looks about the size of a microwave oven, about the size of a toaster, right? It's a little bigger than that. And it has paddles. There's 4 paddles. And the paddle is where the laser diodes are embedded within the paddle. So an average paddle is about as big as a cell phone, about as big as my LG phone. So you could consider that 1 paddle. Now our machine has 4. And then we put 2 machines together to have 8. So 8 of these paddles. Now each paddle has 8 laser diodes embedded within the paddle. So 8 times 8 is 64, right? So you have 64 laser diodes, low level energy, penetrates about an inch to an inch and a half into the tissue. That's it. So it only goes in between 3 to 4 to 5 centimeters through your skin to reach the adipose, the fatty tissue, the subcutaneous tissue. After 10 minutes of that energy going through the fat cells, it changes the cell membrane of a fat cell, of an adipose cell. And after 10 minutes, the energy causes little pores to form, little microscopic openings form in the cell membrane. And then what happens is after 10 minutes, there's a concentration gradient. There's a desire of the cell to empty itself just because there's little holes in it. It's called osmosis. So there's no pumping. You don't have to pump the fat out of the cell. You just open up, make little openings with the laser, and the fatty acid is released into the tissue. It's surrounds the fatty cells, but it's no longer within the cell. Now that energy, those contents are fatty triglycerides and glycerol and water. 68% of your fat cell is water, and that you relieve through the urine very easily. But those fatty acids and those glycerols, these are energy packets waiting to be absorbed by the lymphatic system, through the venous system, brought into the liver, combined with oxygen, it forms energy. So you're on the laser for 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, that gentle energy releases 400 to 600 calories of pure fatty acid. The water, you're going to remove through the urine within an hour, but those fatty acid, those triglycerides, have to be consumed and burned as energy during that day. If you don't burn the energy, if you're overeating during this process, that energy will not be burned. It'll be stored somewhere else in the body. So for the Slim Body Laser Spa process to be effective, you got to be hungry when you come in. That's all. Just be hungry, not starving, not dying from not having food. Just be hungry. And that means no food 2 hours before you get on the laser. That's a stone fact at the Slim Body. 30 minutes on the laser, relaxing. Put it on under your chin, put it on your arms. You can put it along your belly. You can put it on the sides, your love handles, your muffin top. It can treat bra bulges, back fat, inner thighs, that cheesy, that rippled appearance in your inner thighs. All those areas can be safely reduced, tightened, and shrunk using the Lapex BCS lipolaser. And it's so effective that we guarantee inch loss results in many of those areas when you come in. So you'll meet with me. I'll do a brief history, and then I'll look at the area, and then I can give you my best estimate as to how many inches I think or believe that the laser is capable of. And then we sit down and we rewrite out a contract, and it says, I think you'll get at least an inch off your arm, 3 inches in circumference off your thigh, or maybe 3 to 5 inches off your abdomen. And I sign off on that. And after 9 sessions in 3 weeks, if you follow the guides, the suggestions, and you're sincere about it, and if you don't receive that minimum result, we sit down and talk about how we're going to make this better. If it means we have to send you to another office to get more results, or it's a refund. It don't happen too often because we have really good technique and good results, but it happens. And isn't it nice to know that you don't have to take the doctor to court and try to sue them or put all bad reviews? I had somebody call yesterday. A girl was seen one of our Facebook ads, and then she got on the phone and she says, well, I want to schedule, but you have a lot of bad reviews, she said. I was like, what? The staff called me. They said, she said you had a lot of bad reviews. I went online. I found 2 reviews from like 2015 that were not favorable. They weren't horrible. People said it didn't get results. And I remember I remember one of them very specifically, and this person had an alcohol problem that was not disclosed to us when she started. So, but I can't point that out. That wouldn't be kind. It wouldn't be right. So I have to deal with a negative review. They think somehow the laser didn't work. But, if you look at this person's lifestyle, they ruin their results. So we're real careful about that now. The best results we get at the Slim Body Laser Spa come from proper client selection. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't drink alcohol and come into the Slim Body Spa. Obviously, people like alcohol. And if we told you couldn't drink, there'd be no clients. But if you're not controlling your intake, if you have no control as to how much alcohol you're drinking, and you're not controlling food either, you don't know your caloric counts, you're powering down empty calories, sugar-related carbohydrates, then you're not a good candidate for the Slim Body Laser Spa or any body sculpting procedure unless you clean up your act. Now, we can help people clean up their act, of course. We sit down and set up a target goal. And one of my friends who is a great guy, a fantastic person. And, he went through the process. He's in his 80s and he likes to drink. He doesn't drink a lot. He's retired, had a very successful business, but he's a 3 to 4 to 5 Manhattans a night. And at 240 pounds, he can handle a lot of alcohol without being really severely intoxicated. He'd been doing it a long time. However, at the spa, his results were suffering from it. Now, he's been a repeat customer for over 3 years now, comes down every single winter, and he doesn't lose a lot of weight at the spa. It definitely helps with his energy. He's not accumulating more weight. He feels healthier. He feels like, he's able to golf longer. He feels much better by being under care, but he's not losing a massive amounts of weight like a lot of our clients do because of the alcohol. So my solution, and this has worked very well, was I sat down, I said, listen, can you back off on the alcohol? Well, yeah, I really don't want to. I have a lot of stress, wife is sick, been in the hospital. This is what this helps me. I enjoy it. And I says, okay, I'm okay with that. I says, how about if we try this? For every highball that you drink, I want you to drink a club soda with a splash of cranberry and a lime, a nice tall glass, 10 ounces at least of club soda, because he doesn't really like water, but they like the club soda. And so for every drink he has, he gets the buzz from the drink, which is favorable for what he's looking for. And then he drinks he drinks the club soda. And you know what's happening? He's drinking less during the night, during the day. He's not having 4 or 5. He's only having maybe 2, 3 tops on a heavy day. Whereas before he was drinking 5 or 6. He also is waking up without the lethargy that comes from alcohol, the hangover. It's less because alcohol is reduced. It's removed from the body by drinking water. Coffee doesn't help with a hangover. Drinking massive amounts of fresh water disperses and displaces the alcohol, increases urine output, and you will feel better by drinking a lot of water. So if you're out with your friends and you decide that you drink a 6-pack or a 12-pack, God forbid, and you go home and you go, oh, I'm going to be miserable tomorrow. You're going to be sick. Drink a massive amount of water before you go to bed. Put a gallon jug right next to your bed. Drink as much as you can. Now, yes, you're going to wake up and pee 2 or 3 times before the morning because of all the water you drank. But I promise you, you're going to feel better the next day because the water displaces the alcohol. When the alcohol is pushed out and carried out because it's water soluble, alcohol is water soluble. You rinse it away with water. Now, there's drugs and stuff that are not water soluble. Marijuana is not water soluble. It takes weeks and months to come out of your system. So do opiates, Valiums, Xanax, these pills that people take are fat soluble chemicals, and they accumulate and build up in your tissues. That's why when you stop, you think you're going to die because your tissues have a relationship with those drugs, those fat soluble drugs, the marijuana and the Xanax and the Valium and these things. And you can't rinse them away with water the same way. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that, but so alcohol doesn't necessarily make people fat. It just gives you bad habits at the same time. If you're interested in finding out if the laser can help you, if you're dealing with weight, you're dealing with diabetes, maybe you've been recently told by the doctor that your blood sugar, you're borderline diabetic, you're heading into that, and he wants to put you on metformin or these drugs, and you're looking for a safer option or another process to prevent those from having to take those drugs. Lose weight if you're overweight. If you're not overweight, you don't need to lose weight, right? But if you are overweight and you're challenging with all these health problems, I would almost put money on it that if you lose weight, much of your health problems are going to go away. If you're overweight and you're not exercising, you can be overweight, but exercise a lot and not have as many problems from being overweight as someone who doesn't exercise. But what happens is as you start to become overweight, then the joints start to hurt, the knee hurts, the back hurts, the ankles hurt. It's harder to get going in the morning, and then you stop exercising, you stop being so active. A lot of people that carry weight around, they believe because they work hard that they're exercising. They say, well, if you had my job, I have a little thing on my hip. It shows I walk 2,000 steps a day. So that should cover my exercise. Well, it's better than not doing anything, but it's not the same as exercise because you're not really raising your heart rate. You're not really challenging the system. You're just being active. And let me tell you, when you're 40 or 50 pounds overweight and you think that you're going to be active, well, at the end of the day, you're shot out. Your knees hurt, your back hurts, and your blood sugar is not regulated. So you're looking for food to feel better. You can't wait to eat something, and that's when you feel better. And then it's like right after I eat, I go right to sleep. Boom. That's that blood sugar drops. It's a terrible cycle to be in. I've been there. Believe me when I tell you that. My phone number is 223-5885. I'm located in Stewart, right across from the Fresh Market. And we're there to help you if you need any help. I have free consultations. Our program is 3 to 4 weeks. The entire kit and caboodle, the entire ball of wax is $2,800. We can help you. It's worth it. You would be client number 5,685 if you signed up today. That's how successful it's been. So we're here to serve. We'll be right back after this break. name is Dr. Rissacher. I'm a chiropractor, and you're listening to the Slim Body Laser Spa Health and Wellness Hour. And I am using an FDA cleared lipo laser surface fat, spot fat reduction machine and incorporating it together with nutrition, whole body vibration, detoxification, and common sense guidance. Helpful guidance. We're not selling a bunch of pills you need to take for the rest of your life to lose weight. I'm not selling you a food delivery service that you have to buy food in order to keep the weight off. We're not offering you surface fat reduction without any help at all with nutrition, and these are the business models that I see out there. So let's say you're 50 years old, 55, 60, and the weight you've been carrying, you haven't really had a weight issue most of your life. Now, for some reason, the weight is increasing. It's starting to collect on your body, and your friends and family are pointing it out that, hey, you got to do something about that gut. Or, as a female, you're not happy with the way your legs look or your hips or your thighs. And that, you're gaining weight and you can see it. I had somebody come in the other day, they gained 20 pounds, 5-10 pounds a year since they turned 60. So at 65, she's over 40 pounds overweight. But before she was 60, she was really of a normal weight. Some switch, something clicked, something was turned on or turned off. If you know who I'm talking to, because it happened to me. But my weight gain happened when I turned about 48 years old, 49 years old. Within 4 years, I gained like 30 pounds. Now, yeah, I could say it was not because I was watching my calories, but I stopped being so active. I had gotten married. That's a little bit to do with it. So my desire to stay active and fit because I'm looking for a mate became a little less pressing for me. I guess I don't really know exactly why it happened. And also my testosterone took a dump for some reason. Maybe I got poisoned or, living in stress all the time, and it affected my sex hormones. And as a result of that low testosterone in a man and a woman, it's not having her period anymore. That's the hormonal change for a female. But men go through the same hormonal changes in their 50s and 60s. As a female, it's a different presentation. And men don't really talk about it the same as a female does for some reason. In females, it's called menopause, and it's this, it's called PMS. They got medication for it. They have special drugs for it. Heck, they got counseling support groups for people with menopausal symptoms, with PMS. It's even acceptable to be angry and snippy and snappy because of PMS among certain social groups. Now, a man goes through the same hormonal changes, but we don't produce as much. We don't produce any progesterone. We produce testosterone and a little bit of estrogen. And what happens is when your testosterone starts to get lower and lower because of, it can be chemical poisoning. You could be under a lot of poisons where you're in your environment or in your job. These things mimic estrogen. There's a whole classifications of foods, which are not even food, but we eat it. It's packaged as food. It's sold as food, but it doesn't qualify for food. Okay. They're called empty calories. And these are your cakes and cookies and sodas and drinks, and there's no nutrition in it. And I don't know how they can call it food, but what it does is it mimics estrogen. These are called endocrine disruptors. These chemicals, these preservatives, the food dyes, the things which keep food from stinking, the smells, the fragrances. These are mainly petroleum-based substances which have been cleared as being safe for us to eat for some reason. I don't think they're very safe, but somebody thought they were, and that's why they're in your food. And these substances mimic estrogen. Now, if I told you as a man who's 50 years old, who's got another 40, 50 years left of his life, hey, I'm going to start injecting estrogen into you right now. Every day I'm going to give you a little dose of estrogen. Boom, boom, boom. In a year from now, you're going to look more like Caitlyn Jenner than Bruce Jenner. Remember Bruce Jenner? Olympic athlete, triathlon guy, great looking guy. He became Caitlyn Jenner. Of course, he changed his name, but he did hormone therapy, not replacement. They shoot you full of estrogen. They give you female hormones, and over time, you'll grow breasts and look like a female. There are foods out there which you are eating right now. I promise you are, that cause high estrogen levels in your bloodstream. They're called endocrine disruptors. There's another term. They're called xenoestrogens. Xeno, just like xenophobia, xenoestrogens. Now, when I saw this come through on my science, I have some feeds that talk about food and nutrition feeds. I like to stay up on this information. I did not know what a xenoestrogen was. And this was only about 2 years ago. And I looked at it. So when I downloaded what xenoestrogens are, it had a picture in the ocean of a whole bunch of plastics, like bottles and petroleum oils and crud. And they said, these are in your food. And I'm like, no, I don't eat that stuff. I don't eat plastic, and I don't eat petroleum, and I don't eat these paint thinners and phthalates and DDTs and all these toxins. And then I found out that they're in the food I eat. So I'm not choosing to eat petroleum. I'm eating ice cream, which has a softening ingredient, which is a petroleum-based product, which is a xenoestrogen. I'm having a soda because I like the little snap that I get from that first sip on a Coke. It's well documented. I didn't realize that the caramel coloring, and the chemicals for preservatives are xenoestrogens. That cake, that bear claw that you eat in the morning when you're going fishing, I have this tendency to eat these bear claws. It's a little pastry that they sell at the store when you go out to Lake Okeechobee, and it has a cream filling in it, and it's all sweet. It tastes good. I didn't realize that 10% of that are petroleum-based products, which are xenoestrogen. So every time I have a bear claw, I'm ensuring that eventually I'm going to grow breasts someday. Now that's an exaggeration, but it's factual. Xenoestrogens are petroleum-based chemicals, plastics that have been used as part of our food service. And these things lead to high estrogen levels in men and women. Now, if you're a man and you have high estrogen, you're going to become feminized. You're going to grow moobs, not boobs, male boobs. And if you're a female and you've got high estrogen, you might be looking more at having a high risk of ovarian cancer or even breast cancer. It seems to be estrogen related. So why would you put more in? It's amazing. And another big source of estrogen, endocrine. Now, there's another class called endocrine disruptors, and your endocrine system is your sexual hormonal system. That's what endocrine system is. And one of the big major problems with certain food group is they're not really made for humans, and that would be your dairy products. When a cow produces milk, and then the little baby cow drinks the milk, that milk creates an incredible cellular growth within that cow. And, within a year, that cow will can put on 600, 700, 800 pounds. They get big. And then we take that milk and we feed it to our kids, and we don't think that that's going to make them big. If you look at the proteins that are in milk, they're not the same protein as your mother's milk, as humans' milk. It's very different. Yet the dairy industry, the dairy council, the people, the businesses, the jobs that rely on dairy products, the dairy cases, the refrigeration containers, the people that do that, they all benefit from you having a lot of dairy products. When I was a kid, my dad didn't allow us to have dairy products. Can you believe that? I didn't get my vitamin D. What do you get from dairy products besides fat? But my father is a chiropractor, 19, he graduated in 1950. And he felt that, it's not natural to eat all these products from animals. And so I was given water. I was given juice, but it was watered down, by the way. My mom used to make ice pops in the freezer. And they look like the little tray that you put the juice in. She didn't use straight up. She cut any juice we had was 3/4 water. She watered it down. She knew that high sugar in juice is not a good thing. She knew it back in the 60s. So you wonder why I'm here today telling you about this. It's been the way I've lived my whole life. I chose to eat sugar as I got older. And I remember my first sugar splurge. I remember making a decision. I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I was living in Long Island, New York, and my brother is 2 years older than me, so I could go with him. And my mom gave us a quarter, and we went to the candy store on Merrick Avenue in Long Island, and I was able to buy 5 candy bars for 25 cents. They were a nickel a piece. I remember going back, eating that, and running around the house like a maniac, and if I start to get, I was hooked, man. I've had a bad relationship with sugar my whole life, as many of you too have. And my mom didn't really understand the impact that could have many, many years later. But, sugar's a reward. Birthday cakes are sweet for a reason. Hey, we're celebrating your birthday. Oh, it's wonderful. You're here on life. You're going to help people. You're a human. There's so many good. Let's celebrate this birthday. And what are we going to give you? A cake that's like a toxic mix of garbage. That's going to create blood sugar issues, lead you to have diabetes. It could create you to have hyperactivity disorder. It could create sleeping issues. There's certain people that are so sensitive to it, their whole life is ruined by it. Yet we celebrate life with that. Something's got to change. Now, maybe you should have a cake that's and then so here's the next one. We'll just go sugar free. Well, you mean like you're not going to have anything sweet? Oh, no. We're going to put in artificial sugar, fake sugar, saccharin, Splenda, aspartame, stevia. Now, these are all manufactured chemical poop storms. And that's a nice way of putting it. So if you're taking artificial sweeteners and you think in some way that it's making you healthier or you're not affecting your health with that, you're absolutely wrong. It's too much to go into here, but I can tell you that these artificial sweeteners, there's a reason why saccharin is no longer really very popular anymore. And on the yellow packet, when you see it, it shows right on the side that saccharin causes cancer in animals in the lab. Now, I've known that since the 70s, that had that warning on it. Yet we still eat it. Aspartame, I like to say that, aspartame is putting the dye in diet for many, many years. If you go online and you Google aspartame Splenda side effects, Splenda effects or Splenda symptoms from Splenda, you'll see website after website of people that were taking Splenda and aspartame and thinking that they were helping their health with many different neurological problems that clear up as soon as they stop taking that stuff. So I'd rather you use honey, cane sugar, and deal with the calories than to think that you can take that chemical concoction, which is being made now. Here's another thing that really shocked me. A lot of these products are tested as safe in the USA, Splenda and aspartame and these artificial sweeteners have been through rigorous studies. But what's happening is they're being produced generically in other countries like the Big C, China. And what they're doing is they're then including these ingredients, these artificial sweeteners in your food that you're buying, but it doesn't have to be cleared by the FDA because it's an added ingredient. And then they're showing that this artificial sweeteners from other countries are full of chemicals that aren't included and aren't normal and shouldn't be in there. So you're not even getting the real deal when you buy something that it's included. It says, includes Splenda. If it's not made in the USA, you got to be really careful. The other statistic and proof study that they showed is that your body will still have an insulin. When you eat food and it's a high sweet substance, a sugar thing, which is close to blood sugar, your body's going to have an insulin spike. And that insulin spike is what leads to weight gain and a predisposition for diabetes and other symptoms. So one of the reasons why they eat artificial sweeteners is it's considered 0 calories. So when you see what was the first 0 calorie drink they had, that one soda, and everyone's, oh wow, so I can have soda and not get fat? I'm in. Where do I sign up? Well, what they've proven is your body thinks it's having sugar. You think it's sweet. It tastes sweet. So your mechanism produces insulin in response to the fact that it tastes sweet, even though it's not sugar. And people say, what do you mean by that? Well, let me give you an explanation. Suppose I took a lemon right now, a fresh Myers lemon, and I put it on a table, a little cutting board. And now picture this in your mind. I'm going to cut that lemon. I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to take that lemon. I want you to pick it up and take that lemon and then squish it into your mouth. Put it into your mouth and suck on that lemon for a moment. Okay, now do this without really having a lemon, but think about it. Your mouth will start to salivate. You'll start to get fluid and saliva will start to be produced in anticipation of that sourness, that lemon. So when you think of food, a dog salivates before he gets fed because he knows the food's coming. When you take artificial sweeteners that make you think it's the sugar, your body is producing insulin, not in the same amount as if it was real sugar, but enough to create a spike. It's you know what it is? It's a chemical experiment. And your life and your health is worth not experimenting. Stick to real sugar, people. Advantage your calories. And then you won't have to eat these nasty chemical sweeteners. So you're listening to Dr. Tread's Slim Body Laser Spa. I'm located in Stewart on Southeast Ocean Boulevard, right across from the Fresh Market at the corner of Monterey Road and East Ocean Boulevard. I am now celebrating 10 years in practice at my Slim Body Laser Spa. So it's really truth. So why do we need laser assisted weight loss? Why am I doing this? Because people are dying from being overweight and they need help. The laser is an assist. It's called laser assisted weight loss. So it would be like, suppose you wanted to learn how to be a mathematician. You might study as much as you can, and then somebody comes in and assists you with some of those more difficult formulas. That's an assist. A basketball assist is you're going up to shoot in the basket, and then you pass it to somebody else who's a little closer, and they help tap it in. That's an assist. We are using a laser to assist you with weight loss. And when you combine laser with weight loss, you now have something which gets you results in half the time, half the expense, less stress, less trauma, less, it's good in so many ways, more than you'd have to really come in and check it out yourself. So by using laser along with weight loss, you get results more consistent. You have more success, less failure. And let's face it, it's something new. Everybody likes new stuff. This is a new idea, and it's going to get busier and bigger because it's my mission in life to get this message out. You know, I made a decision this year. I celebrated 10 years. I opened this business not knowing how successful it would be. I created it on my own, and boy, I am pinching myself at the success. And this year, 2020, with our 10-year anniversary, we are going nationwide with this idea, this laser-assisted weight loss. I have documented, I've duplicated it, and we're going to get this out to people. We want to help as many people as we possibly can not get fat and not be sick. Laser helps in that process. So you've been listening to the Slim Body Laser Spa. I am here every single Tuesday from 9 to 10 o'clock. You can check out my YouTube channel. You know I'm online. You just got to Google in your little phone. And I think I hear the music in the background. We're ready to wrap it up, Evan? He's shaking his head. A little bit more. Phone number, 772-223-5885. And let's just wrap it up. I'll let him listen to the music for a little while. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. God bless. Bye-bye.